Star Wars lightsabers. Where's your lightning? Go! I got it! Me too! Zap! Zap! Zap!
Hey there, Saber friends. An unannounced stream.
Twice.
What is going on, Jedi Arms Dealer?
What's up, Space?
I wanted to congratulate
Happy May the
you.
4th.
Yeah, happy May the 4th. Not only for May the 4th, but for that incredible lightsaber. Congratulations that you finished and put out an awesome video today. That's it? That's finally. It in your hands? Oh my god.
Finally done. Yeah, with the photonic dual star, just like you taught me. So it's blinding, dude. You freaking schooled me proper.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd like to see the numbers on this one.
Yeah, that's perfect for that Luke Saber.
Yeah.
That is so perfect.
Yeah, Jeff wanted to try out the photonics, so we went there. Good times. So what did you do today?
I worked, but in between that and looking at your video for the for that saber, for the Return of the Jedi lightsaber, which I started out looking at it at work, and it was just like, it was way too much. Like, it was way too much, like, to take, like my desk started rising. It was way too much to take. So I had to pack up my stuff. I packed up my stuff. I pushed pause. So you guys, I was a little bit behind anyway, because I think I started late. It was a premiere. So you guys were in there kind of watching live. And what happened was I had to back up because I think I missed a couple minutes. So I was commenting probably a couple minutes behind anyway. Then I packed up my stuff maybe about a half hour in. And I was like, I got to go watch this from home. So I drove like 20 minutes home, unpaused the video. By that time I was behind even more, but I was just loving it. I still didn't get to the end. I stopped it. I worked out and then ordered a Vader's Vault lightsaber. I thought, I kind of convinced myself that this would be good for testing. Because it has a removable 18650 battery. It's a Graflex style lightsaber. They had two Graflex style lightsabers, one with an intricate chassis and one without. I got the one without the intricate chassis. It's just like a plastic chassis, it looked like, with like a removable battery. Crystal Focus 10. It was like a May the 4th. There was no coupon or anything like that. I just paid whatever they wanted. It was like $1,000. And I thought that would be good to test, because that's like a normal style battery. Now, the Graflex that I've been testing with is my.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
My FX Sabers Graflex. That I just replaced the speaker with the Smuggler's Outpost dark
And
side speaker. So, because it was crackling, like it had been years. Like I used the Saber for like 3 years, I think.
the
And I
Vecca, you
used
got a
it a
Vecca.
lot. And yeah, the speaker went on it. Like when it's kind of a long story, but like I reinstalled the crystal focus in this. Like I wasn't happy with the way my wiring was the first time, because like I wired this. Yoda from FX Saber sent me this Saber, and I wired it, and I wasn't too happy with the first way I wired it. So I went back, and like 6 months ago, I took all the wiring off, and because like when I was swinging it around, sometimes I would see like a flash. Like it was like the NeoPixel connection like wasn't perfect. Remember I was telling you sometimes I thought it was the pogo pins that I had installed. I didn't know like why I was getting interference once in a while. Like I feel like only my eyes could catch it. I couldn't catch it on video or anything. I was like, I see something though. So I just wanted to rewire. I thought something was not right in like the data line, something like that. So rewired it, got the accent LEDs to like work exactly the way I wanted. Pretty awesome. So like there's accent LEDs here. There's like 5 of them or something. There's like power gate LEDs. There is, I don't know, it's probably not focusing there, but it has like 2 different crystal LEDs on the bottom and 1 crystal LED on the top. All those are working in the sequence I want it to. It's like blue, green, cyan, white, and then white at the top. And I added a NeoPixel chip in there, and not one of my chips, but like a Flora type of chip. So that wired, like, that's hard to see, but I'll do a video about this.
No, it shows up sweet, man. You did.
Like,
you took it way up. I'm seeing now all the stuff you've done.
So like I got that in there, and you know what else? Because you know what else I was trying to get in there, and it didn't quite work. Like it'll work eventually, but what I didn't kind of get in there was because for like upgrade reasons, like I really wanted to do like a USB connection. So I tried to have like a USB extension, but there just wasn't quite enough room. Like there's enough room, like I could get that extension piece to hang down, but in the compartment that houses the board, that extender that I was using was just a little too long where it come out of the USB port. And it was like a little too long for the section where the board sits in this. After many days of like trying to figure it out, I was like, I can't fit that right now. So but I'm happy to have this working like perfectly now with exactly the way I want, all the accent LEDs, the specific fonts you created for this. So when I got the Vader's Vault one, the reason why I thought that was a good kind of buy to test all Civilized Sabers blades and stuff like that is because this, has the smaller batteries. So this isn't really like replicating what a normal Saber buyer experiences, because these are like 17,500s. What and there are 2 of them.
What do you think they are combined amp wise?
It's like 22. It's like 2,400 milliamps.
No,
so it's like
okay.
Which isn't like I can run like all different types of blades in this, but the numbers aren't the same as when you run an 18650. The numbers in the lux meter is what I mean.
Okay. So on those batteries, does it show the max amps that it puts out though? You know how like on a Keep Power, it'll be like 15 amp high drain.
This was
those little
1200, ones? And I multiplied that by 2 because of the way it's wired.
Okay, I see. So it would be
like it stayed 3.7 volt, but I doubled the amperage. I think it's how it works.
Yeah, because you're running them parallel. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it doubles the amps, but it just holds it better. It's a good question. You're better at the double battery setup because you've done more of those with old school crystal focus. Back when we had to do 7.4. Oof.
Yeah.
Trying to fit batteries in those. Good Lord. It looks great, man.
Awesome. Yeah, so I thought it'd be a good like test saber to get the Vader's vault, which on the outside is going to look like this. It looks like it's a Graflex with like ESB features, Empire Strikes Back features, just like this one. But on the inside, obviously, this one is the full Yoda chassis from FX Sabers, and the other one will be kind of for when sometimes a customer orders 2 blades. And a lot of times I don't have 2 sabers to kind of show at once. And now I'll be able to display them at the same time. It might be pretty cool.
Nice.
Pretty cool for like videos too, to have an extra saber around. I'm not the type to have like a bunch of NeoPixel sabers around. When I make the videos, I'm usually just using one. So there's always a problem when like I have like multiple blades. I'd like just make the video with like one at a time,
Right. I take it these comments are recent.
Oh, Justin Evans, welcome. Gotta love the spinning crystal. Yeah, because I titled the video about JediArmsDealer's new lightsaber, because I wanted to just talk about that the entire time because I really love that new lightsaber. I was even considering like showing you guys a little bit of the video, but looks like I think some people in here saw it already. Felicia
that's
says,
my buddy
man,
Justin.
oh yeah,
he's the one. Well, dude, he's the one that gave me my JediArmsDealer name.
oh my god,
He's a graphic designer as well, a badass graphic designer, and he came up with that name. He was standing in my old recording studio, and he was surrounded by like 50 master replicas, lightsabers in the boxes and stuff. And he fired up a Luke Green, and he's standing there. He's like, "You know what you are?" And he's looking around the room, like fucking lightsabers. He's like, "You're a Jedi arms dealer," and I was like, "Can I use that?"
that's perfect.
That's how it started. Yeah,
that's
man.
a cool name.
Very
it
cool.
might not be like the most
Justin.
like YouTube friendly name. Like YouTube probably doesn't like looks down upon like things to do with like guns. Probably, who knows, like how the algorithm is.
With the whole that's why I took the no spaces. So it's
yeah, so it reads the same, but yeah, maybe it doesn't get caught like that.
Right.
Felicia says, "Man, I literally was watching your video right now."
It was a journey. Oh my god.
Yeah, amazing.
Stop, you guys.
That was something else. Like, I knew you're gonna come out with something for May the 4th because you were saying you're working on that video. But I just didn't know that, and I knew about the crystals too. I guess you like probably told me, and obviously Jeff, the customer, the most about it. So I kind of knew, but still I was blown away, and I knew what to expect a little bit. I knew there was 2 blades. I knew there was crystals. I was blown away. I couldn't believe that lightsaber. If anyone hasn't seen that.
When we were doing Saber Talk, remember, like I had the chassis completely like just down to this little tiny thing before I put it in the copper sleeve. And I think it was JT was making the joke that it was the smallest crystal chamber he'd ever seen. And he's like, "Oh, a saber dart," because it was tiny. Like just when I very first
I was surprised too how slender the hilt, or not the hilt, how slender the chassis was. It looked like, and I was surprised by this, that you kind of took the narrowest part of the lightsaber hilt and just designed a chassis. Like you weren't stepping in and out with the size of the chassis. You just went with a rod that went into the, and it used like the minimalist amount of space. Like the board is in there, the battery's in there, the emitter array, and the speaker, right? Is the speaker, well, the speaker had it was a little kind of bigger nub at the end. That was the only part that was, that was the only part that was kind of wider. I guess that's what
cut the whole,
locks it in.
Well, like the LS6, you normally can't, those Corbanth LS6 gull wings, you normally can't put anything in there bigger than like a 22 millimeter. And so if you take the back end of it and you hack it off, the inside part that the pommel cap screws over, and you hack that off by like 1.5 inches, you can get a 28 in there, and it just kind of hangs out in the. So that's what I did. I took a hacksaw and then I cleaned it all up, and then the copper chassis grips the speaker, and then the pommel makes an airtight seal against the speaker, and that thing is loud. Like, it hurts my ears. It's so loud.
Wow.
And I've got
And
it
what
on
kind of
1500
speakers
on
in
the
that?
Profi. He's got the 3 options. The one that I did the video on was the TCS Wow speaker. Then speaker number 2 is the one I call the JAD speaker. It's that link I sent you eons ago, to kind of like those little bulletproof speakers I used in Daria's. That's number 2. And then number 3 is the Smuggler's Outpost. And that one's the loudest and the thickest.
And like, are those options just so Jeff has, in case a speaker blows, or are those just because you want him to experience the different sounds?
I mean, I don't think he'll blow them, because I have the volume set max to 1500, and on the Profi, it won't allow anyone after the fact. Once you set the volume to 1500 in the config, it won't allow anyone to go above that unless they connect via Dimitri's Force Sync app. Then they can go all the way to 3000. So if Jeff starts using that, he hasn't been able to get it to work yet in Singapore, but if he does start using the Force Sync app, I'm going to have to be like, dude, just make sure you don't blow them, because they're 4 ohm.
So there's also a Bluetooth piece in there. It's a Bluetooth board in there as well.
It's got the Fizzy chip, yeah. Yeah, that's how I was running it when I was doing the video.
Oh. I asked, like, the Vader's Vault option had an option for adding that, so I added that, even though I don't really know completely how to use it just yet.
Demoing, it's easy. I'll walk you through the iPhone setup. It's super easy.
Yeah, I think I used it, years ago when the Crystal Focus 10 first came out. I made a Saber and I included that, and I did the app, and it all worked fine. And since then, I haven't done it, so I probably forgot.
Was that the wine shop Saber you did?
Yes, yes.
All wireless? Yeah, that was badass.
Your friend Justin Evans says, has anyone included haptic feedback in a Saber to give it custom vibration feelings, or even combine it with the low-end rumble to feel the power? Yeah, I've done it several times. There was actually one time where Jedi Arms Dealer helped me get through working with a vibe motor, but Jedi Arms Dealer probably has a lot more successful experience with them than me. Like, does that current Saber for Jeff have a vibration to it?
I mean, well, it's pretty bassy, so yeah, but there's no vibe motor in it or anything. There's no way. Like, I could barely fit.
Well, the motor is sort of like, if the motor was spinning at full speed, would there be a feedback from that motor?
No, because it's one of these motors that has a step down cage on it, and then there's little gears in it. The motor spins fast, but then it has these step down gears that cause the main shaft to spin slowly. Do you have any of those?
No, I don't think so.
Out. I think I got one right here.
That's like a watch.
It's like this. This is the motor right here that got used.
That's pretty big, man, to put in a Saber.
But
that was
the
main feature, though. That was the main feature for yours. So I guess you kind of worked around that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So the crystal actually
really nice.
These are cool. They're really quiet. So yeah, it's the brass housing that steps down the gears, so it isn't spinning super fast, because this little motor spins really fast, but then these gears.
What's like the torque on that?
Want it to be. They're actually really strong.
You know what that could be used for is the like rising an extendable blade out of a hilt, especially the way you were able to control it. Yeah, like the way you were able to control it, you could control how fast it would go. And I could imagine a mechanism whereby the turning of that unravels like a spiral blade that could come up. And then also, can it go the other way? Does it go the other way for retraction, or?
Yeah, no, it's full DC, so you just have to reverse the polarity and it'll go the opposite direction.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder like if that could be the key to these extendable type of lightsabers in the future. That would be.
I'm pretty sure I've figured out how Disney's doing it. I'd have to.
Is it kind of like that, like where there's this like a a fishing reel type of thing, like going up? And
well, there's drawings out there, and so it has like a dome on the top that sits right on the emitter, right? And there's a lower roll and an upper roll, and so you have them offset, and there's two pieces that are of the blade that are flat, and that dome sits on the top of each of these pieces, and when they shoot out, they curl and come together and go up. And then when they come out of the hilt, they uncurl and go flat again, like a tape measure. You know how like a tape measure has a curve to it, but when you roll it up into there, it gets a little flatter. These are extreme. So it's memory plastic. So it's a half moon and a half moon. And when they're flat in the saber, but then when they come out, they curl and you don't see the seam.
Oh.
So that's why they always
hold it. Was quite big to make it happen.
Yeah, it's huge. But I'm pretty sure that's how Disney's doing it.
What's going on, John? Happy May the 4th. Hope you're having a great evening.
Hey. That looks great, Space. You really nailed the freaking crystal chamber on that thing.
Well, I didn't make the crystal chamber. You know, that's like.
No, I mean the lighting. I can tell you've upped the ante on the lighting since last time I saw it.
Yeah, I got one of those little like micro white LEDs that Harris gave me. I got it in this little chamber that was holding a 5mm before. The 5mm had two micro LEDs in it before, a blue and a green. I took that one out. I poked a white in there, and then I plopped a NeoPixel on top so that when the whatever color the blade is now reflected in that. And I did it the way you told me to do for this new way where you can control everything, where like that one is number 1, and then the blade, start of the blade is 2, 3, 4. So we can, once we get into the programming, if we ever want to like go further, you had said you could like, let's say like the blade's off, but yet that it could be blinking, or that could be an activity. I think you
use the sub blades, or use the LS2 pad to do that kind of stuff.
That I went from like the red and black is exactly the same as the blade, but the data comes out of the board into that flora, out of the flora, and into the blade.
Okay.
Hopefully I did that right.
So you did use sub blades then if you ran them in series. Yeah, it's so trick what he did with the new board engine.
Yeah, I don't fully understand all this stuff yet because I just like started messing with the crystal focus again.
I
need more depth,
but refresh bad. So Justin says, what about using a really thin haptic engine like in smartphones? I've thought about that. It's such a, like the Saber's so much heavier than a phone. I'm not sure how much you'd feel it. And it's a very intense buzz, those things. So would it create false triggers? But didn't Irv write in his code a thing that recognizes rumble motors now in the CFX?
Oh, really?
So yeah, and so it ignores false clashes or that type of stuff if it detects a frequency.
Well, yeah. Also, the board is so smart now with the smooth swing that it kind of only like things don't really get triggered as much anymore that aren't supposed to. Like
I've noticed that too.
If I vibrate this a little bit, it doesn't really trigger anything. It's more so the changing of the axis nowadays. So I think the vibe motor is more friendly, if not electronically, at least physically. I think it would, especially when Irv puts the advice in the manual to install the vibe motor as far away from the board as you can. I think that even probably matters a little less today than it used to years ago, but it's still probably good practice to go as far away from the board as possible. And I do think that those small haptic engines would probably work pretty awesome. They just kind of have a bad rap, like the vibration in the Saber, although everybody kind of is after that feeling. As far as installing wise, I think it kind of has like a negative feeling about it, because everyone I've ever talked to, like I said, trouble with a vibe motor inside a Saber. And I guess I am kind of going back years ago, but
Yeah.
for
I haven't
one
tried
reason
one.
or another.
I've not tried one since the CFX has come out, but I do think it's programmed to be a lot more forgiving. It's almost like when the board detects a motion that is humanly impossible, it ignores that. I think is kind of how Irv wrote it. Or there was some talk about him doing that, but I'm pretty sure he did, and that's why they're working better.
John says, "Are we making TriStar retractable blades?" Well, I mean, I'd love to.
Yeah,
I'd love to.
triple strips.
Trying to think how that would work.
Whew.
I could almost think how that might work, but like the blade tube part is kind of, you know, that issue to me. I don't think any of these retractable ones are really going to match the look of our like completely sealed. Like when there's like moving parts and such, like for instance on JediArmsDealer's new Saber that came out today, that Luke Skywalker Saber, there is a door on the back, right, that you made flush, and it really does look almost seamless. But you said that took a lot of work, and to make the blade on a light up blade to be you know, an LED blade to be like, to have those moving parts to be completely
right
sealed
the
looking.
two halves.
That's tough,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty complicated. It actually takes away, like, to make one of those, you know, think about what it takes away when you are making when you're thinking about making one of these like retractable lightsabers. Like that really just has to be the goal, because everything that you want to do, like on the inside, like for instance this lightsaber we looked at today from JediArmsDealer, his video release today with the Luke Skywalker, you know, all that intricacy on the inside, it has to go away in favor of all the complexity of like having something being pushed out and pushed in. And plus, as you've seen from the pictures, like even like the Disney ones, they can't even get that slender and real size. Like if you consider the Luke lightsaber from Episode VI as like a real size prop, the one that the actor held, that's the same dimensions that JediArmsDealer worked with to make his Luke crystal. You know, how many crystals is it? 8 crystals? 9?
We ended up with 9.
9 crystal, yeah, like 9 removable magnetic crystals in there. You know, all that has to go away in favor of like a bigger hilt, the up and down electronics and motors and such, and hilt just ends up being kind of big. And I'm trying to think of like, I guess like you could have an accurate, yeah, like I'm thinking like, you know what would really work would be like if you had the double-sided Maul Saber.
Right.
It could be the dimensions of the movie and have a retractable blade on one of the sides. I could see that. Okay.
Yeah, even if it was only what 2.5 feet coming out each side, that might, because then they could overlap inside the hilt and then come out. You know.
Yeah, we could maybe do it with like 3/4 inch blades.
Right.
That might work. And that would probably be like, you know, the most sturdy of these retractable blades. Like we've never seen anyone with these retractable blades kind of like doing any kind of swinging around. They just kind of like hold it up, everyone to see, and then it goes back into the hilt. Yeah. So for us, like who like to swing around our lightsabers and stuff outside, it's just not quite there yet. Like I think, let's put it this way. I think I've said it before. Like if a custom saber maker does think of how to do it, does make it, it is going to be JediArmsDealer. or somebody just out of the unknown, right? Somebody that just comes out of the unknown, like, holy, he did it.
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot. I'm just convinced that it's not going to look legit.
Yeah, like I thought about it since, just like you, since we were probably 6 years old, thinking about how to do that.
Yeah,
we've like had some close ideas, like some ideas that would probably work, but there's something clunky about each of the ideas.
Or too slow. The blade comes out too slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to get it to, not easy, but it's easier to get it to pop out, but then to retract it is a whole nother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just love for it to be like some kind of new tech where it would be like we've always said hologram, but there's got to be something that's after a hologram, like something next. Like what's the next level hologram? That's what we need.
Yeah, because holograms aren't solid, so if you go to duel with one with a hologram, it's just gonna swipe through the other blade and look silly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. But even Disney, with all their billions, can't miniaturize this stuff yet.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I just still think that
prototype.
Yeah, like for all that they put into it, you know, it obviously hasn't like totally worked yet, but I don't think they're just probably not putting in enough. Like they have the money, put in more, get better.
Yeah, well, if they were that badass, they'd be selling them by now. But I think they're so fragile that they just can't. Like, they're like, why we can't sell these? Work. Yeah.
And they just bring people into the Galactic Star Cruiser with the promise of holding it. But I'm telling you, me and you can spot like the size of a lightsaber, you know, because we just been around them for so long. Like you can see that it's bigger. You can see that it's not accurate, you know. And if you're just like deep in the hobby, like you just sometimes want like a little more accuracy and, you know, like I don't know, like in my videos, like if you really want to play around, like you can do that effect where like, you know, in my videos I do it all the time where like you just stand there and there's like no blade in it, right, and then like you grab the blade, put it in, and then you edit the middle part out, and then you're like, right away you edit that,
which is what they did in the original trilogy. You can see like his hand jerk or whatever, and then the blade turns on.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. That's almost like a stop motion effect of like when the monster comes out and the Rancor comes out and it's like stop motion, or the chess game. It kind of goes along, you know, those effects worked together because it all kind of matched, herky jerky kind of matched.
Right. It made sense back then. It was so cool seeing the Rancor on the movie screen when I went to the theater the other day. It was so sweet.
That is super awesome.
It was
I checked like if that was in my area too, and like it was in like limited release just for that day, right?
I think they did it for like a week, but the last day was May the 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my buddy Tim was telling me that they got to make room for the new Ant-Man movie or something like that.
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe.
Yeah, that's it.
Guardians.
Yep. That's it.
Justin says, Dave, it was hard to tell in the video. Is the plate that the magnetic crystal attaches to flat, or is there a recessed area that it snaps into?
It's let's see if I got one right here. It literally works like this. So here's the motor, right? Shaved. See this top shaft right here? I shaved that in half. And so once that was shorter, I took this round donut magnet right here. Right here. This is how small it is. This round donut magnet, and glued it onto the end of the shaft. And so it's concave. And then the crystal, let me see, do I have an empty shell over here? It's one of those leather eyelets that you put through a leather hole and use the tool to crush it. Well, they make them in a larger size, and that's what all the crystals, the 9 crystals, got mounted into. and that's made out of steel. And so the steel sticks to this magnet, this donut magnet that goes over top of the shaft, and that's how the whole thing works. Yeah, that was one of those wake up in the morning. I was like, Eureka! I now know how I can do it.
That is amazing,
yeah,
man.
That was a lot. You know, Space. That was a lot of work.
I mean, I knew you've been working on this for years, and you said the Jeff's weathering was really nice, and I saw it up close in the video, and that is the type of weathering that I really like. That's the type that like it looks like the movie prop. It looks like, what it almost looked like to me. I'm not trying to say this in a negative way at all. It made the material look like a different material. So instead of metal, to me, it almost looked like a plastic, or or something like a different space material. You know how they say like in like plastic steel or whatever they say like their material is. Like it made it look like it was perfect Star Wars weathering. Like it looked like in the Millennium Falcon how certain things are dirty on the edge, and then it was like just on the edges, just in the creases, just close to the edge was just the hint of the weathering. I wouldn't even call it the 10-foot weathering. I'd call it like 4-foot weathering. You know what I mean? Like you had to be as close as that video to see how detailed it was. So that was a good job. You like how you had that. I guess you had it on HD or whatever. Like I could see all the stuff about that saber in the video.
Cool. I'm glad to hear you say that, because my iPhone 12, the chip has been like acting up, and so I need to take it in and trade it in. When I watched Daria's video, I actually think this is a little clearer. So I need to swap this thing out, because I've been noticing it's been degrading over the past
wait, so
year
what you didn't use your phone for this? You used like a different camera or
I
something?
did. I used the iPhone on a tripod. And normally that's crystal clear on close-ups, but I can tell on my end, comparing it to Daria's, and now Daria's is like you can do close-ups all day long and there's crystal clear. This one had a little bit of grain to it, and it could have been my lighting as well, but I'm glad to hear you say you could see stuff, because I was kind of like,
that was really cool.
You don't want to reshoot everything after you edit it all. Like, But
I originally thought like you were going to go through all the fonts, and then there was this one point where you're like, okay, I'm not going to show all these middle fonts. There's too many. You're like, yeah, we'll come back to a couple of fonts toward the end and stuff. That was fun.
Oh, 50, yeah, because the grayscales, it was still a lot of fonts, but I didn't show the grayscale ones, when it was
what is the
this is too long.
Like the Saber calls out for the crystal based on the color that it's displaying.
Right.
And then does it know when the crystals dropped in that's correct, or that's just up to you to kind of?
It's up to you to just kind of have fun with it, pretend. Yeah, it's not RFID or anything like that.
Because I thought when you were in like the Crystalline Workshop font or one of those that was like specific to working on the Saber, that I thought it was calling for green. You had the red in, and I thought the voice said something. And then when you put the correct green one in, I thought it corrected itself. Was I wrong there? That
was just a happy accident in the video. But yeah, it was different because it triggered the welcome to early. So it just happened when I put the green one in. It just happened to work. So that was just a fun accident. But I kind of wanted to do something with, because other people have done magnetic crystals, but it's usually only one. I've ever seen somebody do.
Well, JB Kuma did like I think however many crystals Thanos has in his glove.
I saw that, the glove.
JB Kuma did a Thanos hilt, and his did it where I think it was RFID, or it was something that like it knew what, like all the crystals had to be there for him to get full power. I forget exactly how it worked, but it was like when you took a crystal out, it knew that something was gone, and if it was in the wrong place, I think if I have that wrong, he can make a comment if he watches this, but that's where I first saw the magnetic crystal thing, and it was super cool like a couple of years ago. I mean, having what you had to swap out inside such a small space, and it turned in such a special way where it's not just spinning. It's like it has these half turns, it has these quarter turns, it goes slow. It's just I mean, I think everyone that saw that video today was their mind was just blown. I have to make sure that video link, let me find your video link so I can make sure that that's in the description for people that want to like watch that afterwards. But that was a treat to see that.
That's the tricky part is not only getting it to stick in magnetically and be removable and swappable, but to also make it rotate. That was the tough part. So technically you could come up with a system with the Profi, and I'm not sure how many blade detection IDs that Herb's board has, but you can actually use different size SMD resistors. And if you had a physical electrical connection plus and minus on the bottom of a crystal housing, and then you had it would be really hard to make it rotate. But if you had it on the opposite end, you could technically put different size SMD resistors in some type of a mounting plate at the base of the crystal. And if those resistors are different values, let's say you had 5 of them, you could technically make it so it would know what crystal you were putting in, not by color, but by resistor. And you can set that up on the Profi using blade detection. So
I wonder if that's what JB had. I'm not sure.
That's what I'm wondering, because he was using the Arduino board. I think he was using the DIY Eno that those guys were like working on long before, Frederick and before Frederick came out with Profi type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about long before, because Frederick was working with them for a while on the DIY Eno. That's that first, I sent you that video of Andros and the Fireblade, and the very first time we saw NeoPixels in a Saber, period.
What was that, maybe like 2015 or 2014?
It seems like forever ago now. Yeah. But you could do that with blade detection on the Profi. That would be pretty trick. I thought about doing that, but then how do you get the crystal to rotate as well? Because then you're talking about, a double, trying to get this to do this when it's mating up, So people have done blade detect on single crystals and made a physical electrical connection. So when you put the crystal in, it makes a noise. I've seen people do that with CFX and Profi. With the trick where you put a blade in and it makes the noise.
Yeah, it's got to be that. Yeah, well, it's got to be.
They do that. They do that with crystals. Matter of fact, I think it was Greeny that did that. Greeny 5000. He actually, I think, made it so that when the chassis clicks together, it goes and makes a noise when the chassis goes back together. Not even like a blade. Thanks, Justin. Must have been all those midi-chlorians that I absorbed hanging out at your place.
Yeah, it's like these shows don't even go that like I remember when episode 8 was out, and we went to the movies and saw episode 8, and the Saber, the Graflex lightsaber broke in half, and I just remember thinking, like, even there inside, they showed it for a second, like what was going on inside, and it wasn't even close. Like, all the people in the Saber community have better chassis inside, more realistic looking, like, innards than in their lightsabers than even the movie makers could dream up. I remember it was just like a metal cylinder inside with like a crystal attached to it. It had nothing really like epic about it.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. That would be a dream come true. I'd take space with me if Disney called me up and was like, "Hey, we need you to work on a project. We need you to pick one other person." I'm like, "Space, let's go.
Let's do it.
Doing this."
I think you're right, Justin. I think Disney uses RFID in their toy crystals. Yeah, because it's like when you have a red one, it makes your saber blade red. When you have a purple one, it makes your saber blade purple. So they must have a little like RFID thing in there, recognizes it, and then the programming changes in their like NeoPixel programming of the Saber electronics to now be like a purple blade. It must be how it works. You know, RGB blade.
Yeah, I hope they don't start using smooth swing in their sabers. They're not doing it yet, but they've got the NeoPixel in there. That's how it does RGB.
Like the fact that they could kind of print out their own profis, and it's only a matter of time. Like they're doing them in like the cheapest lightsabers available now, so they're going to be even more available.
I wonder if Disney, though, with licensing, is going to have a problem using an open source product, or are they going to have to develop their own board and use Dexter's smooth swing algorithm? And can they even do that legally? Like, you know, they have to stick to all the laws.
Oh,
so I don't know how that works with open source.
Okay, well, tell me if you think that this might work for Disney. Like, what if they use the Profi architecture? It's open source, right? And they have someone like FET263 on their payroll that creates the blade styles, and they have somebody like you or somebody like Sam from Grayscale or somebody like Jesse from Kyberphonic, and they hire them to make a specific sound font. Don't you think that would cover the bases? Like their own specific sound font and their own specific like FET263 programming style. Wouldn't they be able to use the smooth swing?
I do, but can they take open source code and profit off of it? That's what I don't know, the legalities of that part.
Oh, yeah, but what's the difference with like a company like LGT or anybody else that sells Profi? What's the difference?
It's a good question.
They're just skirting under, or
maybe, or that they're buying an open source board. Like, I don't know how that works, because they're buying the board and then selling their Saber and install for profit. But can Disney do that as a massive corp? Well, you're right.
I think Disney's the one that
has
the right to do it, because like all those sounds that everyone kind of like says is proprietary to Disney or whoever is Lucasfilm, is probably the one that really does own like the bazoom and the, you know, whoosh whoosh and the lightsaber name and all.
Why haven't they done it though? I think that's what's trippy about it. Like, surely they know it's out there. Surely their R&D people have seen videos with these smooth swing sabers. So like, what's the holdup?
Yeah, like, is it really like I know personally that it's tough for me to wire sabers. Like, you know, you don't see me wiring too many sabers because like it doesn't come easy for me. That's like a tough thing for me to do, is wiring a saber. And I mean, I don't want to say never, you know, never, but I just don't think I could ever get to like the level like I see myself getting worse, like as eyesight gets worse, as maybe hands start trembling, like I'll get worse. Like I'll never be able to attain like your level of like, this thing is this big and all that wiring is in there and there's Bluetooth in there. I mean, like you created something that's like Apple level packed with electronics.
Wow,
so
thanks.
You know, like that type of thing is unattainable for most people. But don't you think it's a level of installation is so, I use those too. No, I'm using them all the time now, to the point where I take these off and I bug out. I'm like, whoa. Like I forget that I'm just zoomed in the entire time.
Oh yeah.
And then like the real world is
micro world.
Yeah, like I'm in the micro world. I take them off. I'm in the real world and I bug out for like half a second. I'm like, uh-oh. But isn't the wiring of it so, I mean, it took you 2 years to make that saber. Like it's not fast. Let's just put it that way. It's not fast, whether you're at your level or at my level. You know, I'm slow as can be. You're excellent at it, you know, maybe still slow, but it's like, how can you make, like, maybe the reason why they haven't done it is because of that issue of like, somebody needs to wire them all up, and who's going to do that? And I don't know. You
would think they have it automated because they sell a crap ton of those sabers. Justin says they don't need to. They can sell cheap crap sabers at the parks for mega profits. True. That is true, because they would have to change their manufacturing everything, the way they do things to incorporate. You know, they'd have to
Yeah,
put
I
the
guess
brakes
it could
on,
be like
an
they could
elite.
skip the wiring bit if they just made it all one, like the core. Let's say, like, you know how the current Sabers at Galaxy's Edge is just like a core, and then you have a kind of a fat sheath that goes on top of it, which represents the different styles of Saber.
Yeah.
Like, is that how they all are? Because aren't they also selling Galaxy's Edge like legit looking
They're
movie props as
basically
well?
I want to say they got their dimensions from, I don't know for sure, but it seems like their dimensions are very similar to the Master Replicas. Do you know how the Master Replicas were just a tiny bit too big, like the Anakin from Revenge of the Sith and stuff? They were, you know, they were like 10-15% larger than the actual prop, and that's how, like, I think the Disney ones feel. Everything, the Ahsoka ones are like ridiculously huge. So
yeah, those don't look attractive to me. Those are like supposed to be, in my eyes, those are supposed to like represent like a Japanese samurai curve in the hilt. And when it's too big, especially for a character that like I saw the actress holding them in promotional like at one of the cons, they gave her these. It was like Ashley Eckstein was holding those, and they just look goofy. They just look so goofy.
Oh, yeah, they're huge.
Like, it looks better, I guess, when a dude holds them, but still they look too big. Like, to me, they're supposed to be like a Japanese sword handle, and those are like fit perfectly in the hand. They aren't too big.
Yeah.
Happy Star Wars Day, Bobby. What's going on? May the Fourth be with you. The Force is always with you.
That was fun today. I did the premiere thing for the first time, and I didn't shoot it out on Facebook or anything, so it kind of ended up being like our core group that was all watching it at the same time.
Yeah, it looked like a good turnout.
Before.
People were excited. I mean, I was beside myself. I think everybody watching was in their own like kind of excited world of like, what am I seeing here? Because that was something super special.
Thanks, man. Magnets. I love me some magnets. But yeah,
that looked like a lot of fun on the doors too. Like how you got the doors to stay closed.
Oh, dude, I didn't know. What's funny is I didn't know they were going to be that strong until after it was done. I was like, holy crap, I might have put too many magnets in here. It's really hard to get open. So I hope that the strength, I don't know if with neodymiums or whatever they're called, I don't know if the strength kind of wanes after a few years, but it is really hard to get those doors open. But, you know, I don't know if you've ever held or looked at that LS6 with the gullwing doors. No. The magnets that Corband supplies with them are so weak. So you even just bump the hilt and they fly open all the time. I was like, no, that's not going to fly. I need to super beef them up so that when you hit, smack the blade.
How did you rework the doors then to not have a crease in the middle? Did you have to take them off, or is taking them off, what was involved in the door readjustment?
Yeah, there's two pins that hold those kind of like wristwatch band pins that slide out, and those doors just fall off. And so you can take them out separately, and then I had put on like a super thick pair of like gardening heat-proof gloves and gripped them really hard, and then used a Dremel wheel, sanding wheel, and I mean I sanded them for like 2 days, having to take breaks, and because it's stainless steel. Most of that Saber is stainless steel. Oh, dude. So I just kept working it, putting them on, and then closing them, and putting a flashlight behind them to see if the light would go through. And all the magnets in a row to hold the doors closed. I took silver paint and painted them in between, all up and down in between the crack, and then closed them with the paint wet, and then let it completely dry out in the sun for a few days, and then went in there and cracked it open.
Oh.
So the paint actually keeps the light from bleeding through when they close.
Oh.
Otherwise, no matter what, you could see.
What type of paint is it again?
Testers.
No, I mean like
old model paint.
model paint. So what? It matches the color of the metal.
Yeah. Yeah. But you don't see it. It's on the inside where the magnets are all lined up. But that was the only way. Because before I put the paint on there, you close it, put a flashlight behind it. It didn't matter how accurately you ground it, light would still go through. I'm talking about like a little amount of paint just to seal, that super tiny gap that was left over after I got them to close. I don't know if you've ever seen the LS6 in person, but it's a huge gap. It's horrible.
I've just heard people kind of make fun of it, like the door, door bit. Like it's such a cool idea, but I hear people making fun of it when they get it a little bit.
Yeah,
they're not happy with those doors. But yeah, the way you had this made this Saber sturdy with those doors, like it wasn't going anywhere. You can grip it there and not worry. And it also didn't look like your tweezers were causing any damage when you did try to pull open the doors.
Yeah, there's plastic. They're those plastic tweezers you get on Amazon.
Bobby Susanbeck says, I'll need to go back and watch. I hate that I missed it. Yeah, I think Jedi Arms Dealer, I don't know what you posted it at your time. Was it like 11:38 in the morning? Were you trying to do like a Star Wars number or something?
No, I did it at 11.
It was like 2 something. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it must have been 2:11 your time because I did 11:11 my time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going for like a Star Wars number of like 1138 or something.
Dude, that would have been cool. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, 1138 would have been dope.
Because I had a meeting at work and then I tuned in as soon as the meeting went done, I saw that the premiere was already in progress, and then I tried to back up. I saw that there was a healthy amount of like intro with like animation intro or something. At least that's how it looked to me. I guess it was
that was the premiere.
Yeah,
that was the premiere video that YouTube supplied that sci-fi looking thing.
Yeah, and like so once I caught up, I think you guys were kind of ahead a little bit by the time I was like commenting, but I was just commenting on what I was seeing, and I mean I'm telling you, I was like drooling. I mean this Saber is amazing.
Thanks, dude.
Justin Evans says Disney isn't in it for the love or the drive for excellence like the custom Saber building community. They're a business, high profits, low cost production. Yeah, like it's like imagine going to work and that's your job, and you would think that it'd be the coolest job ever. But when you're at work, you just kind of want to go home. And then when, as far as like us Saber builders, like when we go home, that's when we work on these Sabers, So it's like the total opposite of someone that does it for a job. Like they go home and they're done with it. I mean, unless we're talking about it's like 1976 when like those guys working on the movie probably did take their work home. But these days, I don't know. It's probably more like, union rules and whatever else. They probably just go home at the end of the day. They don't take the work home with them. And for us Saber builders, you have a passion. You like really want to get to making that Saber. You want to get to be building it. It's like a need.
For over a year.
Yeah. David Hunter NYC says, just got here. Who's the sexy Jedi in the photo? Well, that is Jedi Arms Dealer right here. He is in his Luke Skywalker garb and in his cave, putting together his lightsaber with the Force. So yeah, this is his friend Jeff's custom lightsaber. Jedi Arms Dealer made it. If you want to check out this video after you're done watching this one, I put the link in the description. It's like an awesomely long video about this lightsaber, but this lightsaber is epic. Like it deserves, it's not a 7-minute video because this isn't a 7-minute reveal. It's like it's got everything in the video, so you'll be stunned. You'll want to keep watching. It's a long video though. I'm not completely done with it. I'm sure you talk about your blades that you made at toward the end of it. I didn't get that far yet, but you got like one photonic blade, one trans white.
Yeah.
Did they have to be specially made at the end, or they slide into this fine with like a standard?
Well,
like they have to be like recessed at the end or whatever.
Well, I did the trick you taught me because it's a 1-inch emitter, and so I did the same thing we did on Daria's with the an aluminum reducer from 1 inch to 7/8. So they're 2 7/8 inch blades, 32 inches long.
Oh, cool.
Jeff wanted them 32. So yeah, I mean they're pretty much
size.
Yeah, that's pretty much how you do them at Civilized Sabers. So they are Civilized Sabers approved.
Yeah, when I ordered the Vader's Vault Saber today, it said that it's coming with a 32-inch blade. So it seems kind of standard, right? Because that's like what Michael Murphy asked me for blades. Like he wants them in 32, unless there's like a customer, like special request. But I found that 32, at least for my body type or whatever, that 32 size actually does swing around like the nicest. It's almost like the shorter you go, like if you go even shorter, it's almost dreamier. But 32 is like a sweet spot of like.
I agree. So
it's really good. So those guys have it right. Like, those guys have it right. So that's where I followed. I said, okay, I'm going to do mine at 32. Plus, as you know, when you're adding all these LEDs, like in a TriStar or something, that little bit extra length is a lot more LEDs. So it starts to tax the battery and all that. Justin says those Bombay doors aren't all the way around, right? They go to the clip. Yeah, it didn't look like it was all the way around, right? There was like a section that doesn't open. Was that like the control box?
Yeah, it just goes up to the control box on both sides. So like if I open it up like this and I hold it this way.
Oh yeah, wow. That's pretty cool. I like the pattern on the inside of the doors as well. There was like an X pattern I noticed in the video.
Yeah.
That must have been from Corbanth. Is it Corbanth you said?
Yeah, it is Corbanth. They're like hanger doors. Like
that's cool.
Thing.
Or like
Very
X-Men.
cool. Right. There you go.
So Jeff weathered inside there too, or you painted in there?
No, he did everything. I mean, the Dremel, like I had to hit these high points. So all this was already weathered in the low points, but I hit the high points with the Dremel wheel to get them to close perfectly. So now you don't see anything when they're closed, and that was a pain, but we did it.
What's that thing in the background there? It looks like almost like it's on your desk, and it looks like the top of the Return of the Jedi lightsaber. What is it? What is that? Oh, I think I know what it is. It's like a stack of bins, maybe. But that looks like an extra large version of the top. Yes, like right there. That looks like an extra large version of the grenade section of that saber.
I'm building a really big saber. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, that's my plastic bins. Those are cool for. I have a bajillion different parts. Hey,
Justin says, nah, even back working on the movie, they were like, yeah, let's just go with this old camera flash garbage.
I know. If they would have taken those things home, jeez. Buying up Graflexes like my crazy ass.
David Hunter says, what's so shocking about this new saber? Well, you got to check it out. It's like, that's why the video is like 2 hours long, because it's literally like the most unique saber ever. It has a rotating crystal chamber with removable crystals that are magnetic that you can put in, and it's got 9 of them that are custom made real quartz crystals for this lightsaber. So you really are like Luke Skywalker building your lightsaber. It's got all the best electronics. It's got the best blades. It's got the best of everything in there. So it's got an awesome chassis. You definitely got to check it out. It's like one of the most unique sabers you'll ever see, I think. Like I was even going to say, like it's really too bad that you cannot, you have to ship this thing international. And I was thinking when I was watching the video before that it's really too bad that like, and I was going to text you and be like, I think you need to put like $8,000 or $10,000 insurance on this. And then I was thinking, well, when you ship internationally, I don't even think you can put insurance. But I was thinking this thing is so unique. It's got to be, valued at between $8,000 and $10,000. That's how much I would want to insure it for if I was shipping it. But unfortunately, you're going out of the country. I don't think you can even insure it for any, I don't think you can insure it unless maybe you went with like DHL or I don't know, like maybe one of those other companies.
Yeah,
maybe that would be
I may look into that. I don't know. Yeah, I may look into that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to ship the the stand and the saber in one box and then ship the blades separately. It's just too much.
Oh, okay. That'll help. Yeah, I think you did that with Darius.
Yeah.
And that.
Well,
we did
that. Well, we did that. You did that with Darius.
Oh, I did that.
You had to build his blades. Yeah.
Oh no, you know how I think I did it? I don't remember how I packed it, but I do remember that Daria made it easy because Daria has like a it's like a service with like a New York address. So it's like I ship to New York, which is easy because I'm in New Jersey, and then he got a service that I guess securely delivers his packages. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to mess around. Yeah, David. Yeah, we were talking about this before. Like next up, retractable blade. That would make it the most epic thing. But like I said before, unfortunately, the only way I could think of it right now, and you know, like a new technology could totally change your way of thinking. You know, nobody like the example I always used before is no one was asking for the internet like back in 1988. Like nobody was like, I wish there was an internet where I could talk to people. But when it came out, like everybody was like, oh shit, like we could use this for this and that and other. So it's almost like you don't know you want it or you don't know what technology is going to make it happen until it happens, right? Like nobody could have predicted, I mean, except for the people that actually created the internet and had that vision. But nobody was really clamoring for like, I wish there was an internet, you know. But we just need the technology that allows us to get to that level. Right now, when I think about it happening, I think about how the only thing that could make it work would be to take out everything from the inside of the hilt and make everything on the inside of the hilt about the retraction and extension. But to have this hobby like where it is now and to have extension and retraction for real would take something new, because you don't want to take out everything that you have inside the Saber, and then you'd have like, it wouldn't really, you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be what you really want. Like you want the smooth swing with the nice speaker and the battery and all this stuff. And with our current technology, with the tape idea or the measuring tape idea that Disney's kind of using, or the pulley kind of rod system in there, the extendable telescoping thing like in the toys, it's just not quite great for custom Saber people, because custom Saber people want to have like these innards, you know.
Innards, that's the word. Chassis innards.
Bobby says you should hand deliver it.
That's not a bad idea. I've always wanted to visit Singapore.
But I really think like you would like, I don't know, but I kind of think like with this object in your suitcase or in your car, in your under the plane suitcase, your check bag.
That's scary too.
I just don't know. Like I think they would give you trouble. I really do. Like they scan it. It looks like a friggin' it looks like a batteries device. It just looks like a cylinder. Right. I would be like holding that bag, like, and I'd be like, we need to talk to this passenger. I mean, I don't know. Like, does that type of thing happen all the time, where people are just like shipping metal cylinders like that look weird? I don't know. Like underneath the plane. I don't know. Cause like I was thinking about like when I'm coming to see you, I was thinking about what should I do? Like should I ship something? Will I just use something that you prepare that's like just at your house? You have an extra NeoPixel, that's fine. I just use that. Should I try to get my Graflex over there so I could show you the intricacy of the Michael Murphy chassis? You know, and I'm kind of thinking like, but what if like something gets lost, you know, and this, maybe I should just use whatever you have at your house. And I was thinking about what if I carried it. I was thinking about, like what if I carried it and then like they want to go in the suitcase and they start ruining it, you know, they start wanting to do something to it, or they want to withhold it or something. So
the TSA passed a rule to where lightsabers are allowed now because of all the cons that are all over the world.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
maybe
so there's specific instructions that they all know that they're allowed. I think sometimes they make you show you that it works. You know how like they used to do that with the iPads and stuff? You'd have to show it actually turns on and the touch screen works. I think they might do that with some of the Sabers if you got like a strict person. but they have
Mhm.
special instructions to allow lightsabers through for all these, cons all over the world, Comic-Con and
I'll tell them you said so
WonderCon.
when they stop me. But I was
Yeah.
thinking, like if I did bring a saber hilt, maybe I just bring the hilt and you have a blade there waiting that you've made, and we'll pop that in and we'll go out there and it's going to be Halloween. It's like when I come visit you, it's going to be like Halloween like that day.
Hey, we
So
should go out and get some candy.
yeah, like we got to do something. Like I guess I'll have to bring but you said it's going to be really hot in October in California.
No.
Like if I bring my whole
Nah, it won't be hot the end of October. It usually starts to cool off nice about third, fourth week in October. Perfect mid-70s.
Oh, perfect. Okay, it'll be good for us then.
Yep.
It'll
Yeah,
be good.
you totally
like
nailed
it's like the last Halloween I did this was probably it was when I first got my custom lightsaber. It was the EL Graflex hilt, and my friend got one. My roommate, he got it. We were like 23 years old. It was 20 years ago, and we like walked down the street with our cape or hood, like our Jedi hood, and a cape and whatever. And we were walking down the street, and we just had our lightsabers. We were just happy to have them. They had no sound, but they lit up and they looked cool. And nobody had anything like that at the time. We're talking 20 years ago. Nobody had that. And there was people yelling from their house going, "Hey, you're passing by. Don't you want candy? Come over here. We got the can." But we weren't in it for that. We were just literally walking. We're like, "No, it's fine." We were just happy to be on Halloween. We had our lightsaber. It lit up, which is, this is an epic change from a broomstick painted green, which we had the year before, to this light up EL. I would love to know like the Lux number on those ELs. Like I sold mine years ago on eBay. But I would love to know like the Lux number is probably like 64 or something.
I'll ship you one. You can test it. They're horrible.
I should bring my like Lux meter if you want to test anything at your house.
That would be epic. That would be super cool.
Because I got a portable one that just runs on battery that JB Kuma from the Mad Science Workshop made for me. It's actually, you can put 2 blades in at once.
Yes.
Felicia thinks Elon is going to make an extendable blade. Maybe. Could send people to space. He should be able to make like a sweet and that would probably make more money than Twitter. To have a
the way it's getting run, maybe.
I guess like lightsabers, I guess, owned by another company.
So funny story. Many years ago, before when he was just getting SpaceX like a couple years off the ground, I pulled up to a stoplight, like a mile from my house, type of thing, in the Mazda. All right, buddy, focus. In the Mazda, and dude pulls up next to me at the stoplight, and I look over, and he's in like an original Tesla Roadster.
Oh yeah.
Remember when they
Lotus
used
Elise style?
The Lotus, exactly. Yes, it was that model, and it was badass. It was black, and it had the optional. I don't know. It looked like all custom with a carbon fiber roof, and I hadn't seen one of those. And so, dude pulls up next to me, and all of a sudden, I'm looking. I'm like, why does that dude's profile look so familiar? And I scooted up a little bit with the car, and I look over, and it's Elon Musk.
Oh my God.
He rolls down the window, and I roll down my window. He looks over at me, and he gives me the thumbs up for the Mazda. I was like, holy crap. I was so scrambled after that. I was late picking my kid up for school. Because
that's when he was still operating out of California.
Yeah. So I drove straight home instead of going to the school to pick up my kid. And I told Barbara, I was like, you're not going to believe what happened today. This is so trippy. Sell the car. All right. There we go.
Oh, I guess Bobby's been to Singapore. He says Singapore is a wonderful place. Very clean city. They will arrest you for throwing gum on the ground, though. I almost found that out the hard way. Yeah, like when I was growing up, when I was like, in my teens, there was a story on the TV about a person from America that was being whipped for Was it spitting out their gum or no? Just spitting. I think just spitting. Do you remember that? JAD, there was like someone getting whipped like 10 times, like 10 lashes or something.
In Singapore,
and it was
wow.
kind of like a big news story over here for like a day.
I know you can get arrested for kissing in public in Dubai. They have like
Did you say
super strict
sing?
rules. Kissing.
Oh, kissing. At least it's singing.
That would be hardcore.
That would be awful because you know how there's like certain like way of talking that almost sounds like singing, like the way Palpatine delivers his lines is like singing.
Yeah.
Imagine getting arrested for being Palpatine. Dave, have you brought your sabers to Galaxy's Edge yet?
I have not been to Galaxy's Edge yet. I don't know, man. I
don't know if I'm gonna go, but you know what? If we do go, would you go to the Florida one and we would like meet there?
Heck yeah.
All right, like maybe let's like do that in 2024.
I don't know if we got time, but it's only 2 hours away from where I live. If we went to the one in LA.
Oh, well, I know if we could do that, but I know if we went to the Florida one, Jesse would probably come meet us.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like the last time I was close to there, he was like almost ready to meet me, but we just kind of didn't have time.
Right.
Yeah, like I would be there in a heartbeat if Galaxy's Edge was about like the original trilogy. It just doesn't seem to be about the original trilogy, and it's like places I don't even recognize. It's like Batu and wherever. Like those aren't places I'm familiar with. I don't know where they came up with this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I want to see Luke's land speeder and shit when I get there.
Yeah, like I want like the OG, like all the little trinkets and stuff to be based around like Darth Vader, Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie. Like I don't know that it is, but I'll have to go and see. But from what I understand, it's not. From what I understand, it's like not about those people.
Yeah.
Oh, Bobby remembers when like somebody from here got like lashed or flogged in Singapore. Oh, Bobby,
cool.
Too. He's in Florida. Awesome.
Yeah, Justin's in Florida.
Oh, there we go. What? So we already have a group of 4.
Big time.
Felicia will drive over from Texas. Mundo will drive over.
It'll be a party.
Mundo will, we'll wait till like Mundo's kids are all in college. He'll drive over.
Be drinking whiskey all day at the park.
Yeah, like the last time I was in San Diego was so nice. So I'm kind of hoping for that. Like, what time of year? And I was there in like May.
Oh, you nailed it.
It was really nice. Like, I just love the sunsets over there. Like, just crazy colors.
Well, I'm glad you didn't take my advice this year and book the ticket for March because we have had the rainiest, gloomiest year ever.
It's been like the same rain from like your area to over. It's like the whole world apparently is experiencing that rain. I heard like we had like 4 days just like full of rain. It's just like a lot of gray days.
Yeah, we needed it, but dang, it's been a lot.
Yeah, I wonder how far Texas is away from Florida. Maybe 7. I think I asked Mundo once. I think he said it was like, I don't know, 17 hours. I don't think I forget what he said, like 17 hours away or something like that.
Yeah. I saw Justin wrote something about showing off the Saber I built for him and Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Wife. And that the chassis in that is that 3D printed one where you went and picked out the colors and I was going to do a different variation of that. That's the one that's in his Saber.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like for my customer Mike, like
yeah,
the chassis. Oh wait, so does he have that same type of saber, or you fit like does he have the Anakin saber, or you fit that chassis to a different saber for him?
Different saber. It was an MHS that I converted to like a custom scrap build Ranker Tooth saber.
I remember that one. That's cool. That's really cool. David Hunter says, I quickly familiarized myself with the 2-hour video. I will watch it from the beginning to end, but starting at like a minute 30, it blew my mind. maybe it's an hour 30. I don't know, but yeah, like it's a crazy saber. It's a really cool one to kind of get into and just like listen to. I really like the way you talk about it too, because like the way you kind of unravel all the things that it does. Like you said at the beginning of the video, you just can't say it all fast. Like there's just like too much. So you went through it section by section, and that was really cool because like it really is a lot. Like you're like, well, what could be a lot? It's just a saber. Well, yeah, take a look at it. It's like, from bottom to top, there's a lot of features that just take some time to kind of go through, but they are super unique and cool. And I'm sure other people will kind of see that and get inspired for things that they're doing with their own builds. Like you were probably inspired by, who knows, like certain maybe Disney things with the magnets, or JB Kuma things with the magnets, or somebody else, and you kind of took a lot of ideas and put them together for this. And the rotating thing you've done before, right? But this was probably on a smaller scale.
Yeah. This one hurt. It fought me in some places. This was probably the most challenging. I thought the Daria's would hold that record, but this one took the cake. I remember you sending you some speed bumps I was hitting along the way, and man, it got intense there for a while.
Yeah,
I just have to put it down and come back to it.
Well, this one inspired me to because I have a couple thin necks I'm doing, like they're the Obi-Wan style from like episode 4, and that they're the Romans type. So your build inside there, like it kind of inspired me. Not in the sense of like what I can do, because you have certain techniques and ways you've been operating with your acrylic and your 3D printing and stuff that I can't like really approach that. I don't have that equipment. I've never done that. But just in the sense of like what's possible inside a saber of that size, because those Romans Obi-Wans are approximately that size inside, and like you kind of show people like, look, like there isn't really any limits, even though there's like no space in there. It all could be done. All the stuff you want could really be in there if you like, work on it.
Yeah, I remember when Jeff sent me the list of the things. He's like, these are the things I hope it can do. I'm just like, oh my God, we're gonna fit a crystal chamber motor in this thing. It's micro, so freaking small.
Was there vibration in Daria's?
No. No, just the 2 speakers. That's why it felt like it had a vibe motor in it.
Yeah, so I remember that now. Yeah, it was like I remember you telling me like when you wield this, you will feel it, and I remember that. Yeah, even through like I had like white gloves on, where cloth gloves, you could certainly feel it for sure.
Yeah, I was so paranoid moving that saber around.
To Galaxy's Edge, I've been there more than a few times. It's a mix of original trilogy and the new movies. Vader, Chewbacca, and Rey all walking around together. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they have the Millennium Falcon there, so there's that.
That's
true. I do want to go.
That's the biggest attraction.
I do want to go.
Like, is the one nearby you the same size, the same features as the Florida one, or the Florida one's bigger or smaller?
I believe it's the same size. The biggest selling point for the Orlando one, which I'll never be able to go, is the hotel. The the hotel
like $6,000 hotel.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, I don't think that's doing so good. I don't know, but
like it'd be one thing if it was like super special, spacious, etc. But like I've seen the interior like videos of it, and it's like, it's not
a train.
Room.
You're on a cruise ship.
Yeah. It's more like a cruise ship room than a hotel room, and especially for that money, like it really should be grander. Like they kind of missed the opportunity there. Like, like what it really should be is like one floor is Bespin, one floor is Nar Shaddaa, one floor is like the the star, like maybe the top floor is like you're actually in the space cruiser. One floor is like
that's a great idea.
Yeah, like because you can imagine, like, remember when like Leia's hanging out in like Lando's area, everything was like kind of white. There was like lots of windows, and they could have screens outside that make it look like it's like evening or sunset, golden hour type of thing, and it's you kind of have like Lando Calrissian based themes on that floor, and you could, you know, have those be like the grand suites, and, you know, maybe like the penthouse suites is like actually the Star Cruiser one that costs a lot of, you know, all the money.
That's a great idea, though, Space. You step into the elevator, and then you get on like a shuttle ship.
Yeah,
And then and then you feel like you're going to another planet, and you
totally.
step off, and it's another floor.
Because that would provide like the repeat customer. So the people that like, let's say, liked staying on, because like maybe you were staying on like General Grievous's command ship, right? And then there was like droids in the hallway, like the Roger type droids, plus like the his guards, you know, were maybe statues or something, and maybe the electricity crackled, and maybe there's like the ship's going down, you know, or something. So like it would make you like, and then like the next time you're like, oh, I'm gonna stay in Princess Leia's apartment when I go back, or like I'm gonna stay in Padme's apartment on Coruscant when I go back. That's like the 9th floor, you know what I'm saying? And like they have the place where like Anakin's meditating, and maybe they even have a floor where it's like the Italy set, like where it's Naboo, you know. It could be something like that. It could be like Padme's apartment on Naboo. You could have like Prince, like you can go into expand the universe, have like Princess Leia's apartment like on Coruscant. You could have, I mean, wouldn't it be sweet if you could like rent you could stay in Yoda's hovel and eat that soup and shit like that.
That would be sick. And Dagobah.
Maybe that would be
like
the lower tier, you know, like for like maybe, you know, like $359 a night. It's like kind of an expensive hotel room, but for there it's like the cheapest one, and you're in like a Yoda's hovel, like sleeps
there
too.
You go. Yep. Eat some creepy oatmeal. Love it.
Yeah, eat that soup, like get maybe that like room service.
That'd be awesome.
David Hunter says, I would not want, however, music or voices in the sound module. A Saber should sound like a Saber only. I'm a purist. Yeah, I kind of feel like that too, although I explore all the different, like me and Jedi Arms Dealer have a lot of voices in our sound fonts too, but I do understand this mode of thinking as well. I think this way sometimes. Do the color crystals appear like they light up from within? Yeah, like when they're in the Saber, right? They're glowing, like they're lighting up, right?
Yeah, those 415 neopixels like are firing at a 45 right at the, you know, the upper part of the crystal, and it glows for sure. Yeah, there's no stopping those neopixels. They're just bright.
Justin Evans says, your new Saber is a Russian nesting doll of amazement. Yeah, it is. You just keep going layer after layer after layer. Unbelievable. You definitely need a drool cup when you're watching that video. You will find your favorite shirt is wet after you're watching that video for 10 minutes. Justin Evans says the Millennium Falcon ride is amazing. It's more like a team-based flight simulator video game. Why you can control you're controlling some of it. Like I wonder if like are you doing that? Because I saw some of these videos, or some of my friends on Instagram were in that. I think we're doing that, and like I wonder if you know, can you blow up, or can you like fail at it? If it's like a video game, or you kind of get through it every time. Because I'm sure if like someone, like if you're supposed to be someone's on the turret and they're firing at like a TIE fighter and they don't like do it well, like, you know, in the movie they did it how they're supposed to do it because they blew them up and whatever. But then you remember Princess Leia was like, they let us escape. So I don't know if it's like that or not. That's pretty cool though. That's pretty cool that it's like you know, it's almost like an escape room, right? Are you like in a Millennium Falcon type of like escape room, and you got to like do things right to kind of survive? Yeah, Chet Osborne is here. What's going on? Happy Star Wars Day.
What's up, Chet?
This is a pleasant surprise. Yeah, I didn't like announce the stream at all. I only announced it to Jedi Arms Dealer. I'm like, you want to go on there for a couple minutes? I really wanted to congratulate Jedi Arms Dealer because like that video kind of took me by surprise. Like I made a video today too. Like I made a video about a blade. You know, a blade isn't really as intricate as what he made, but I kind of put up a video, and then like later on I'm like, oh, let me watch like Jedi Arms Dealer's video, and then I'm like, oh my god, like this is not just a video, this is a fucking life-changing
movie.
Holy crap. Yeah, this is like Jeff just
Saber,
became
like
the luckiest dude in the world with the saber. Oh my god.
Thanks, man.
Let's see. Justin Evans says, I could only afford to stay in the wet garbage. The wet garbage chute with the eyeball monster.
Right.
Yeah, like there's a discount in that one because of the danger, right? That's like in the lower levels. Like that's like below the parking garage. Is the
and every hour you almost get smashed.
Yeah. It's like the walls close in and make room for the next room over. Like when they buy the expanded room, like your room gets smaller.
Oh shit! You gotta wear a wetsuit the whole time.
Oh, Justin says, yeah, 2 people steer, others shoot, some people do repairs. It has points and mission goals. That is awesome. That is really cool.
Can you fail though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, but like that must be pretty cool. Like be on the Millennium Falcon, like be on the Millennium Falcon like deck or what's it called, the cockpit, and
the cockpit,
and have to like do all that.
Well, they also have the the holo chess table and the dessert table in there and stuff. Yeah, I gotta go. I just I'm building sabers. That's what I feel like I've been doing.
Yeah. No, I totally get you. Because like when I take a trip, like I try to make sure, and I'm so behind with saber stuff. I am the reason why I have not taken like saber orders in like 3 years is because like I have to, like I have one of Jeff's sabers here. I'm trying to get a Jeff saber done, So like later. I feel like before I go on a trip, I like to get out as many of the sabers that I need to get out if possible. So it's kind of a race up to like. I always kind of like measure the weeks leading up to like when I have to go away to like okay, like I have to get this shipped out by this day, or the video has to be done so I can get it in a box, so I can ship it out, like so the person can get their saber before I have like a 2-week trip, and then they don't get anything for 2 weeks. So I always have to make sure of that.
Nice.
Y'all have to make a video if you go. Oh yeah, like I'll make a bunch of like shorts videos, and we'll also make like other videos too. Like we'll walk around videos, type of like live stream videos. That'll be fun. Like I got to clear out my phone, like, and yeah, like even before I go see you, like I don't even have enough space in my phone to record a short anymore. Like it is jacked up, and I got the 256.
All my shit's full.
Yeah, my shit's jacked up, and like I have all these videos in there. I did transfer them all to my computer, so like everything's backed up, but I got to start deleting them,
Right. Not easy. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah. Like sometimes I'm recording a video with Gabe, and then the thing just cuts out, and I'm like, Gabe, I'm so sorry. Like it stopped. Like we didn't get that good part of the video. That my phone just ran out of space, and then it deletes apps. So like today, like I didn't have enough space to even have Instagram active. Like Instagram was like deleted. like the phone takes Instagram away because it's like you don't have space. Can't have Instagram. There's no more space. So I had to like delete a video. It was like 4 gigabytes, and I got Instagram. I got Instagram back.
Do you do the thing where you go in and delete all your text message photos? That saves a lot of.
Yeah, like it says I have 12 gig of text that have built up, but I don't know, for some reason I feel bad, like because like for instance, like when I'm gonna send you a package, like a lot of times I scroll back to like when's the last time you showed me your address, and like if I delete your thread, all that shit's gone.
Yeah.
Right. And like other people have like information. They're like, oh, email me at this email. So like I'm always using those texts to kind of scroll back and see, wait, where am I supposed to email this person? they've written it to me, or like there's like a recipe in one of these texts. So yeah, like I do have all these gigabytes with like all these texts that I probably should delete, but I have them around, and my phone is just absolutely jacked up. It's like pretty funny when I open up YouTube and I try to like make a short. It's so full of videos that like I don't know how to describe it. Like the phone goes into like a seizure when like I'm trying to select one of the videos. It's like it just blinks and like it's just full of videos. It can't even scroll. It's just like I'm full. I can't do anything, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to delete videos before I even make any videos.
Yeah, I'm there too. I need a clean house pad. I'm gonna shut it down here. It's horrible.
And like I thought I bought, you know, a big whatever storage for the phone, but I should have probably got the 512, you know.
Yeah, they all fill up fast though.
Especially once I learned that, you know, it records 4K. And then when I record all the videos in 4K, and I realized that, you know, each video is like 8 gigabytes, and I just used up my entire phone's ability to record videos.
Yeah, I turned that off. I turned it on for a little while, and I was like, nope, that's way too much data.
Oh, Justin says, yes, you can get a failure response at the end of the experience if your team does.
Okay. Good.
See, if you got to redo it, like if you, it was like a video game where like you failed, it brings you back to the beginning. Everyone would be failing because you just keep wanting to like, play the Millennium Falcon thing over and over again.
I'm sure they have some kids screaming, I don't want to leave.
Oh, sweet. I look like a young pal. So David says, Anthony, without your glasses, with a saber in your hands, you look like young Palpatine with a hoodie.
He sounds like him too.
Super cool glasses. You look like Moby. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, my glasses are kind of clunky, but they're acting like my headphones. So like headphones kind of hurt my ears, or like even the things that stick in my ears. So these have like they have little speakers in them, so I use them as headphones. I actually don't wear these are just clear lenses. Like I don't wear glasses yet, at least, but these just are headphone type glasses. Felicia says, Space, your blades are just as revolutionary, both masters of your craft. Thank you, Felicia. That's so nice.
Thank you, Felicia. You should drop your Sidious video, Space. Your voiceover. I love that. That's so dope.
Let's see, where's that one?
Oh, shit's so funny.
Oh, my Crystal Focus one or my other one? Crystal Focus one stronger.
The Return of the Jedi one you did.
Oh, here it is.
When I was watching it in the theater yesterday, I couldn't get you out of my head. Like when you started talking about, you know, you pitiful band of friends. It's like
that's really funny. Yeah, like my comic's about to come out. So issue 3 is about to come out of Albatross Junction. That's my comic book. And it was funny because me and Kevin, who's my co-creator on this comic, he's looking through this issue. This is like a proof. There's a couple mistakes in it. I had to fix, so the printing of this issue is like hopefully happening tomorrow. But Kevin was reading through the issue, and there's all these sound effects that I had put in, in a comic, it's like pop, pow, someone's punching each other. And there's all these sound effects. And he says when he looks at some of these sound effects, he hears it in my voice. Because like I wrote, I kind of wrote it. It sounds like the way I talk.
Yeah. Oh, it was happening bad on the Sidious sequence at the end. I was like, holy shit.
I will play that on the outro.
Cool.
That's a good time to play it.
Yeah, it's worth the wait, man. It's so good.
Bobby says
they should into a sound font.
Yeah. Well, I keep having ideas about sound fonts. So like I wanna send you. I got to put some ideas together and send you some ideas. But for the time being, like you'll work on something with Gabe when you have time, and that'll be a Civilized Sabers font as well. Whatever Gabe wants, he has a good idea of like a powerful font with like a powerful hum. Like we already have a font called Power, but he'll come up with something with you that suits him, and then we'll make it available for everybody to have that as well. That'll be fun. But yeah, I'm always having these like weird ideas for sound fonts, and you know what spawns them is like listening to the sound fonts you already made. It's like, you know, like today in your video was like reminding me about the X-Wing sound font and, you know, the underwater sound font and stuff, and kind of makes you think of other things that you could do.
Yeah, I want to do a land speeder sound font. Bad.
That's cool.
I've got all the sound bites in one place. I just need to assemble it.
Bobby says they should open the park for a day out of the year with free admission for all the pro installers. You guys deserve it. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Heck yeah. That would be great.
I think you could take like your NeoPixel lightsaber there though, and you'd be like anyone here with like a NeoPixel lightsaber would probably have like, you know, one of the best lightsabers at the park, right? Like they're brighter than the Disney ones, I believe.
The Photon, oh, for sure. Yeah, no, the Disney ones they would barely show up on your Lux meter. Because they're not dropping 18650s in those things. Right?
No, it's got to be something cheaper, right?
Regular double A's or something,
like a
right?
triple A's or something, yeah.
Yeah,
Felicia, the comic, like, you know, I thought it was printing, like, I thought we were already printing, like, let's say, let me think. I think it was like 2 weeks ago we were printing, right? We're like, here we go. We saw the proof. And then something was wrong with the proof. So I pointed it out. Then I waited like 4 days for another proof. And then there was something still not coming through right. That now we're at this week. It was like Monday. Something still wasn't coming through right. They checked the machine. They're like, okay, it's in one machine. Like it looks right on our screen, but then it's not translating to the print. So then I fixed something at home on the file that was supposedly going to fix it. And then that was this morning. We saw another proof, which was like the 6th proof. Then something still isn't showing up. That's in all the PDFs. It's in all the previews. It's there, but it's not showing up. So we did a different fix, trying to make it show up. This little detail. It's a small detail, but it's just, you know, it's important, and it's somewhat important. But you know, it's just I noticed it, so I want it to be there, and there's no reason why it shouldn't be there, because like it's showing up in all the previews except for the actual print. So I'm hoping tomorrow we will see the results of like that fix. I'm really hoping, because it's kind of been a long time coming for this this 3rd issue. I really want to ship it out to you guys that have ordered it. I was so excited to like read it, and Kevin, who's a co-creator, you know, even though we like wrote it and stuff, we had a couple giggles reading it, trying to look at it from like a new perspective, like a reader. And there's a couple points in it we giggled. There was like a lot of other things we liked about it. So we think that it's like a really strong issue of Albatross Junction. Can't wait for you guys to get it. David Hunter, New York City, says one of my favorite sound fonts was the Land Speeder sound font. It's odd that it sounds so natural in a Saber.
So there's one already out there.
Jesse makes one or something? I didn't know there was one.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Unless he's thinking a speeder bike.
I don't know.
I did find another guy, Space, that does the speeder bike. Something Simple Sabers, or it sounds real close to that one you have, but I don't think it's.
I think
he's
that
got different samples
familiar
in the beginning. Yeah, it's one of those. It's got Sabers in the name. I'll have to go back and find it. I'll send you the link to that. It's actually sounds decent.
Well, I thought we would do it. We at least on the East Coast, we just closed out May 4th.
Dang!
It's still not over for you over there on the West Coast, but on the East Coast, May 4th is over. Now it's Revenge of the 5th.
Right.
Tonight. K-Sith, Bobby Susan Beck says, must have this speeder font.
Really? Now I gotta Google it. Be right back. Not that I'm going anywhere. I'm gonna Google it on the screen.
Revenge of the Fifth today.
Huh.
Yeah, a lot of these like May the 4th deals from the companies have like May the 4th deals. They're going on. Some of the companies have like the deal going on through the 8th through the 10th. So you could still, I know, like, everything coming out on the 4th is like hard for people to, you're like spreading your hobby money out pretty thin on May the 4th.
Oh yeah.
Impulse purchase today. I think I'll be pretty happy with my impulse purchase though. Like having another Saber to test with will be good. And like I just realized like I'm trying to build out like what I had planned to do was have, the Arcan and my Graflex as my 2 test sabers, but my Arcan is still sitting on my bench unfinished. So I have to do a little bit more work to like I would say it's about ready for install. Like I have all the wires like fished to where I want, and then the board is ready with like some prepared wiring on it. Components are in place, and I just have to try to get the wiring right. Like I want the wiring right to be on the first shot, but I'm also I have that port for the 3.5 millimeter sound because I want the cord to come out with like you could plug in a cord into the open part of the Arcan to play the sound through my speakers.
That's gonna be sick.
That's kind of the whole, like how you did in your Saber, where the mechanism for the motor is like the centerpiece. Like I built the entire thing around like having that sound port. I really want that. So like I'm hoping that I get that right on the first try. Like I'm gonna follow Er's little diagram. It's only 2 connections, but I'm just really hoping like I do those 2 connections right, plug it in, get the sound to come out. I'll be good to go. I have a little switch there too to switch from like that to speaker. So like if I don't want to do that, I'll switch the little slide switch, and it'll be changing, the mode of sound to my like onboard speaker.
I can't wait to see how that thing sounds. Justin says, Dave, are the sound fonts just layered audio loops? Could you make an electronic music font what sounds like the Crystal Method uses? Yeah, a lot of the font makers nowadays are actually pulling samples directly off of keyboards. I can tell by the hum, like the lightsaber hum itself. To me, I've heard on keyboards and in different studios and stuff. So a lot of the like the bass tones and stuff like that are just deep, growly, analog sounding stuff. They're using those. But yeah, I mean, you could sample stuff from electronic music all day long. So as far as some of the growlier stuff goes and things like that. It's pretty weird. It's almost like the soundboards now almost act like a keyboard. Mundo,
how
you guys doing?
From Texas.
We're doing good.
How are you tonight? Happy Revenge of the 5th.
Happy May the 4th. May the 4th be with you guys.
It's probably still May the 4th where Mundo is, huh?
It is another 7 minutes.
Yeah, got another couple
Mundo's
minutes. So.
In the light of May the 4th. Mundo, did you make any purchases today regarding lightsaber or lightsaber equipment? Or no, don't be lying to your boy.
I've got a couple. I did I actually got one of those sleeves from Smugglers, and for the battery.
Oh, okay. Like a decal that goes around a battery?
Right. The decal that goes on the battery, and then I ordered some speakers. I'm gonna redo the speaker in my lightsaber.
Yeah, I just put a new speaker in my lightsaber last night, and because it started to crackle, and I'm like, wait, the battery is full, and the speaker's crackling. That must mean it's actually like crackling. So I try like another sound font, it's still crackling. I put my finger on it. Like it looked perfect. The speaker looked perfect. I couldn't tell anything was going on, but luckily, Michael Murphy, Yoda of FX Sabers, made my hilt for me, and the speaker is pretty easy to get to. It's like 8 screws have to come out, like all these gates kind of come off the speaker, and then the speaker's exposed. So I just changed it to a Smuggler's Outpost dark side speaker. It sounds good. It sounds good now.
What's up, Felicia? Yeah, no, and it's weird because like last night, the night before, Space Out was texting during the day that my blades all of a sudden stopped working on the sabers, and I was going through the crystalfocus.net, stuff to put some new blade styles on there, and all of a sudden they just stopped working. I'm all like, what the hell? The blades were working perfectly well. The sound, I had everything else works. The buttons were working, the sound was working, and then something was just shorting out. So I'm still checking the pins to see if maybe the pins might be kind of like going out or something. So I might have to order some new pins.
Might have an idea. Like I couldn't kind of think of like, if the blades work somewhere else, what would make putting in the blade like complete a circuit inside Mundo's saber? Would it be something underneath the pins, or completing?
Wait, you're saying
puts a blade in and cuts the saber out, but the blade works somewhere else. He's saying it's not like the. Sometimes the blade could have like the connections crossed in there, and then that completes like a circuit. Positive, negative when you stick it in, if something's going on in the blade, but then, that's why I said, try it somewhere else. You try it somewhere else, it works. It's like, oh, I guess it's the hilt, something in the hilt.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, because the Electrum Sabers, with the blades were working pretty fine. So it's like, gotta have something. Titan, what's up, Titan? May the fourth be with you, buddy. So yeah, man, I was like, I couldn't believe it, because I was all fired up, because I had like three blade styles ready to go for tonight, right? So while I was in here in the garage, I was gonna watch watch Visions and watch Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and I'm all like, damn, now it's like, oh, so I cut it all up right now. Right now, I got it all apart, and I'm testing the pins to see if it maybe the pins, and if it's not the pins, then I said, well, shit, I might as well go ahead and if since I ordered 2 new speakers.
Hi, Justin.
Also.
Thanks for hanging out, dude.
Thanks
Sorry,
for
yeah, night, Justin.
One of my.
So since I had the Saber, since I was already thinking about, because I'm gonna get some JST connectors and connect the battery and the speaker with the JST connections, because I'm getting tired of just cutting these damn wires and then resoldering them together just back and forth like that. So it'll be easier just to take the battery and the speaker out all together at once like that,
Well, you got to take the battery out to check your like emitter stuff at the top there.
Well, no, because I didn't want to work, like I have the kill key in there, and I didn't want to have to keep taking the kill key and stuff like that too. So what I did was I just took out the battery, and I said, well, I had already planned on doing this to where I could just remove the battery and the speaker if I need to, for to make it much easier to fix up if I needed to, or if I needed to replace the speaker right away, it'd be much easier just to undo the JST connectors and then swap them out real quick and then plug it right back in like that. So just a bit of an upgrade.
One of the first things I would try, Mundo, is with it in the hilt. What I always do if I start having a weird glitchy problem like that, with stuff stops working, with the chassis in the hilt, take your multimeter and test to see if your pins in your pogo pins in the emitter are shorted to the body of the saber. So you'll
Oh.
test 3 different, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
if your data is rubbing anywhere on the inside of that chassis, or your plus or your minus, you'll know by using the multimeter between, plus battery on the pogo pins in your emitter, and then touch it just to the outside metal of the Saber, and that'll tell you if
Mhm.
you're having a problem inside. Shorten
Yeah.
out.
Well, Spacer, he recommended, changing out the part for the emitter. So I was like, okay. Well, I went ahead and I got into a plastic one. So the other one was a little aluminum can part, so that looked like
Right.
this. So I went ahead and changed this out. So now my next step is to go ahead and wire this up.
Or
Um,
like what you can do in between that step is like go for like whatever's coming out of the board, right? There's like 3 wires coming out of the board that's like data positive,
Mhm.
negative for your blade, and you're going to connect those to the
Right.
back of that pod. But before you
Mhm.
do that, get like a little strip of spare pixels that you might have
Mhm.
around and
Mhm.
connect those 3 wires to the pixel strip, and then turn on the Saber. And if the pixel strip lights up, you know that everything's legit,
Yeah.
and that now you just have to check the pod, right? So then connect those
Right.
3 wires to the pod, put a Space Windu blade plug chip on top or the blade to test. And if it works, then you know something was going on with the other pod. And then you can just put everything back together again and it should be fine. But I mean,
Right.
believe me, talk about Saber woes. I've been having like some Saber woes where like, everything works outside, like before it's in the Saber, and then I slowly put it in the Saber, testing like I'm a quarter of the way done, test works. I'm 50% of the way done, test works. 75 test works. 100% in, doesn't work. What the fuck? Take it all apart again. Try again. You know what I mean? And like I did that like 10 times over the past 2 weeks. Finally got like my Saber working. Just
Yeah.
for various little dumb reasons, like it wasn't working.
See, and I knew the Saber Woe series was going to be a little bit more popular. I knew it because everybody has that shit happening to them. And guess
Oh, yeah.
what? Yeah. So, man, it's going to be interesting to get more guests on with Saber Woes and stuff. And I had already talked to Benji and some of the other guys, at Smugglers. So we'll get in JD. I want to get you on there too as well. But I think what I'm gonna have to do is take a day off when I do this, so that I can have a reasonable time to get everybody in, and we'll just talk about like chassis and saber woes and everything kind of like all together. I think it'd be a great, a great series, a great episode, dude. I think it'd be
Oh,
a
yeah.
phenomenal
I got some
episode. But
Saber.
and JD, man, your video is just freaking off the chain, dude. Oh
Thanks,
my
man.
God. Dude, off the chain. I was like, even my guys at my clients at work, they were like, jaws were dropped, dude, and they were just staring at the TV, man. So it was like it was cool to see all the reactions too.
Nice.
Man. David Hunter
So,
says, "My bad, I made a mistake. It wasn't the land speeder. I heard it was the current horn lightsaber. Speeder
Yeah, that's
bikes
the
sound
one that we love. Yeah, that's the one we love, David. JediArmsDealer was just talking about that one. The Koran Horn speeder bike one is the one. Yeah, we all love that one too. That's a sweet one.
as in David saw it on your Space Windy channel?
Yeah, he said 4 years ago. That's about right. That's about when we started
Yeah,
playing with it, right?
'Cause we don't really know who did that
Well,
one.
because I know like Bane, my friend Bane, gave it to me, and he said I got this somewhere, and I can't find the guy anymore. And then so that's what I was telling people. I'm like, yeah, we can't find the guy anymore. Then somebody found who it was, and I forget at this point. Again, I forgot again. But I think when I learned it, I made a comment on whatever video and told people. But it might have been that simple saber. I don't know. It was maybe you found it out for me, JediArmsDealer. I don't remember, but somebody found out, and I think I posted about it and then forgot who it was again.
Well, let me Google it real quick because I found
Have
it really
you made like
fast.
a smooth, like, was there a smooth swing one made of that?
Yeah, I converted it for you to smooth swing
Yeah,
and sent it back to you. Yeah,
I gotta make sure I
there we
find
go.
that, like, because I
There it
recently
is.
backed up my old computer again, and I gotta go into those old files and get that.
There's one
You
on
know,
Sabers Forever that's super similar,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me wonder if it might have been, you're the same guy, but he did it way back in the day on FX Sabers because they're really similar sounding. So if you Google Sabers Forever speeder bike sound font, it pops right up.
Oh, okay.
That's the only one I've really found. There was another dude on Etsy, but his didn't sound like the one you have.
you ever
I'll
you
look
ever
on
used any of the fonts from
photos.
a guy named John Jedi FX or so? I mean, I think it's Jedi FX on soundfont.com. He's got some pretty. He's got one that's called the Celtic Jedi, and man,
I've heard you say that, or someone, yeah.
yeah, the Celtic Jedi, man,
It was
sounds
Gabe.
really good. It's based on the Highlander, the movie, right?
Oh
But
wow.
the hum and the swings and everything is like super super cool, man. I had to have that one. It was pretty cool. Even Benji he demoed that font on his channel, and it is super cool, man. So I got that one. I got that one not too long ago, and then a few other ones. So I'm trying to get a couple more fonts before this time is up. So for May the 4th, I'm gonna try to get at least. My goal is to get at least 2 or 3. You know, and my neighbor wants me to make him a lightsaber for his son. So we'll see about how that's gonna come about. I'm hoping it'll be cool. I got that design already down. He approved the design, and it's just gonna be the in-hilt LED type. Because his son's autistic, so um, we're gonna work on that and see if I can order the parts and everything by this weekend. It'll be a lot of fun.
Cool. I've been meditating on that screen for a long time.
Yeah. Looks like I'm
Dude.
gonna probably have to
Forever.
go and do my sleep meditation as well. Got work tomorrow,
Yeah.
but
Same here.
Right.
that was a lot of fun to chat with you guys on May the 4th.
I'm
Absolutely.
glad I caught you guys. I was like super busy on doing stuff here at the house, and then because I was like I said, I was watching the JAD's video again, right? And my and all of a sudden I get this little banner that live from you guys. I'm all like, what live? Oh no!
Space
I was
just
all
hit
like,
me up
let me hop on
last
here.
second. I was like, sure, why not? It's May the 4th. Let's go.
Yeah, I was so
Last
excited to see that video too. I was like, I got to go on there. And like originally, like I think last night I had the idea. I was like, yeah, we'll go on there and maybe you help me for like an hour, program one of my sabers or something. That's what we normally kind of do. And then when I saw that video today, I was like, you know what? Forget the programming. We got to go talk about the saber. This is too much. Like that is the biggest news of the day for me. I mean, I know I saw the the May the 4th sabers up, and by the time I got to a lot of those websites like Saber Trio, they were all gone already. The ones that I thought were really cool
Wow.
were kind of already gone, but a lot of places had available stuff, so it was kind of cool to go around and kind of check what people were selling today. And it's a mad saber world out there.
Did you see the
Yeah.
Arcan on Corvant that sold out? Like
No.
super. I was kind of bummed because I was considering it. It's got like a lot more ornamentation on it and stuff, like gold accents.
Oh, I mean, I don't think one could get any better than the one you sent me. Like the
Oh,
shapeliness
I love
of
that one.
that metal, I
Yeah.
don't think can be beat. I saw another one that was like it didn't have that shapeliness to it. It was a
Right.
more rounder. And you know, it was cool because it's still an Arcan, but this one I think is like the primo Arcan.
It's
Have
heavy.
y'all seen the have y'all seen that Saber winner from Saber Bay, that new hilt that he's got on there?
I think I did. I can't
Maybe.
remember.
Maybe.
Maybe. He has to
Yeah,
sell it.
he had a like a drawing contest for hilt designs,
I did see that.
and
Yeah.
and this guy, one of the winner actually came out with a pretty cool design, man. It looks pretty neat. Actually, like I actually, out of all the hilts that he has on there, actually that's the only one I really look like. I mean, it's
Like
pretty
that's
cool. So
available to purchase.
I think so. I think it's available to purchase right now.
That's cool.
Huh.
That's
Saber
really
Bay.
cool.
I don't remember
what.
what he called. I don't remember what he called it, but it's like the contest winner, but Saber something. But it's yeah, it's a pretty cool design, man. I was fairly impressed with it. I
All
was
right, so if
fairly
people want to
impressed.
see like more of Mundo, where should they look? I know Mundo does a show on Civilized Sabers. You'll do a show most Mondays.
Yeah, and they also can go to at Mundo Cabrera 7007.
Nice.
It's
Yeah,
crazy,
like
man.
YouTube has these weird tags now with some of the names.
Yeah, and I didn't
Mundo.
realize, and I didn't realize that it went like that. That they got Mundo Cabrera 7007. Like
Because like
really?
Civilized Sabers is the same way. It's like Civilized Saber, and I don't even know the numbers, but it's like 44014. You know, I don't know what the numbers are, but I guess it's like a designation, and rather than just Civilized Sabers, it's like something else. Whereas like Space Windu channel is just Space Windu. There's no numbers after it. I don't know. It's weird.
Mm-hmm. And I thought it was kind of weird with numbers on my deals, like because people were looking for my channel, and they're like, "Hey, Mundo, where's your channel, man?" So like, you didn't type in Mundo, or what? Like, if you can, okay, go by through Civilized Sabers, then you'll be able to see my channel. Uh, but then when I was looking at it, and then it said, "Well, go under your channel," and then I saw Mundo Cabrera at 7007. I'm all like, okay. So I'm a 7 with a 007 at the end of
Nice.
Nice.
Jedi Arms Dealer. If you want to see more of him, you can go to the link in the description. There is a link to the video we've been discussing, the one that's like kind of on the screen right here. The swappable magnet crystal full metal reveal for Luke Skywalker. Go check that out after you watch this video. You won't be disappointed with what you see. It's absolutely amazing. It sounds amazing, looks amazing. You'll have fun kind of seeing all the different features it has. You won't see those features really anywhere else, but it's pretty crazy. Anything else you want to say about where to find your stuff?
JD.
Oh yeah, you got the PCBs. Did you get to the point in the video where I said you better be wearing a N99? All right, good.
I sure did, buddy.
All right. Oh, you got
sure
a you got a beard though. All right. Well, you'll be all right.
Yeah, no, it covers it all.
The beard
covers
is
it all.
also like a particulate screen.
Well, don't you have a contraption that like sucks the solder smoke away from your area? Maybe you do something like that.
He
Mundo.
has that.
Okay, cool.
Well, see,
Particulate
because
remover.
not only do I do that mask, but I do it like underneath it as well. So
Okay.
That's to
I
catch
usually
the
have
drool
to.
from watching those videos.
I know, right? All the saber porn, dude. Damn. My saber's gonna actually go off. Like, ah, damn. Even R2 got excited about it. You know, he lost his bleeps, the creeps, and the sweeps. The what? The what? No what? Bleep, bleep, bleep.
So to see more from what I do, you can check out Civilized Sabers YouTube channel. We put out some videos when we make a blade. You can check out the link in the description for my comic book. Albatross Junction. This issue 3 is out now. It's gonna be shipping like real soon, like next week or something. So if you want to get in on that, it's on Indiegogo. I put the link in the description. Thank you to everybody that stopped by on this May 4th/5th. I hope you have a great Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. Enjoy your sabers. If you got any orders coming in, enjoy them next week when they arrive. And Revenge of the 5th. Enjoy it. Savor the moment. We will end the show with little Palpatine. Little Palpatine voiceover.
Here it is.
All right, have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much.
You
Let's
too,
see if there
guys.
might be a couple
Thanks,
comments
Chris.
here.
See you, Mundo.
Chuck
Peace out,
Alvarado
guys.
was here. Thank you all. Revenge of the 5th is upon us. Titan Gray, we're out. Mikey Angelo is here. What's up? What's up,
Mikey.
Good to see you
What's
guys.
up?
Yeah, Felicia. R2 is at Mundo's house. But yeah, all right. We will roll out of here right now, and hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for doing this show tonight, guys.
Thank you.
Come on.
That was fun. Good luck with your video, JAD. I'm sure I didn't see how many views it had, but I'm sure it's going to be a popular one. It's pretty bitchin'.
Dude, it's
Thanks.
epic. It's epic.
All right, here we go. Have a good night, everybody.
Night, guys.
Perhaps you're referring to the imminent attack on your rebel fleet. Your friends up there on the sanctuary moon are walking into a trap. An entire legion of my best troops awaits them. I'm afraid the deflector shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive.